Hello everyone, namaste. Welcome to my first episode of my podcast. This is called Soulful Sunaina, where we're going to have all types of conversations about things that matter to us, a little deeper dive into topics like career, relationships, yourself, all sorts of things that I don't get to talk about on my other channels. And for the first episode, I wanted to talk a little bit about myself so you can get to know me. So I recently went through, I would say probably in the last 10 years, probably the biggest transformation in my adult years. Went through so many changes through diet, exercise, yoga, spiritually, and just completely changed my perspective on so many things. And from that, I want to be able to talk and discuss all of my teachings, all of my findings with you in hopes that it inspires you. I'm still on my journey, and to be honest, there are days that I feel like I put more into my business or other aspects than to myself. So this is definitely a work in progress. But I definitely want to be here and be raw and candid and just share my journey with everyone. So about a year ago, I started yoga. I had tried so many different things in the past, but yoga was the only thing that really clicked. So I want to say last April of 2013, I started yoga. And then I wasn't consistent until probably August, but it's like that seed was planted in my head that, this is out there. This is something that works. It just clicked with me. It just, I don't know, it worked, I had tried everything. I'd done kickboxing, Bollywood dance, all sorts of things that, would work short term, but then it wouldn't, it didn't help with weight loss, which is the original reason that I got into yoga, for weight loss, but then I just gained so much else from it. And then slowly, like I said, I started getting more consistent starting in August of 2013. And then from that, my whole mindset with food changed, like that greediness was gone, the emotional eating was gone. When you're tired and stressed or angry or sad or really happy, you celebrate, or, remorse with food. So all of that went away because I started, learning that food is to keep you healthy and keep you alive, not for those other reasons, So my relationship with food changed. I incorporated intermittent fasting. I started learning a lot about my culture. I was raised in a very Indian household. My parents raised me, despite living in America, a very Indian household, celebrated all the festivals, did all the traditions. So I was very rooted, always have been. But there was just like a desire to learn more, So that happened. I would say probably September, I totally quit alcohol. So I haven't had a drink since September 2013, which, no judgment if that's your thing. But for me, that was huge because, it's huge, it's everywhere you go. It's always there, right? So I think that was another proud moment. And then October, people started noticing. People were like, are you doing something? So that was a nice feeling. And then November, December, that was really monumental for me because those were the months that typically in the past, since I can remember, as an adult, I always would put on weight. It's a celebratory time, pretty much Diwali onwards to the new year, but I stayed the same. So that was huge. And then January, I started like a brand, I started a page where, and I'm sharing that because I don't think I would have had the confidence to do that before. I had the encouragement of my teacher and who believed in me. But then also, that's a pretty bold step. To start that. And then I started teaching. So then February, I had my first workshop. So that was pretty huge too. March, I had my first workshop, but February, I taught my first yoga class, which is, I mean, if you had told me a year ago that I would be learning yoga, let alone teaching it, I would have said you're crazy, you know? So, and then April, that was like a full circle moment for me because I traveled to India, which I've always, like I said, I've always been deeply rooted to my culture, but I traveled there alone with no one, which is huge. I mean, I maybe the people closest to me wouldn't classify me as a independent person. You know, I always like to be with people. I get that energy from people. I thrive on the energy from the people I'm around. So, and I've always been surrounded by really supportive people. So I just feel like there was never like a desire to travel alone, and to do that across. I mean, maybe everyone on here has done that before, but this was so huge for me. And as I started reading more about myself, like my signs and numerology, it says that my sign is very independent. So I don't know. I just feel like I'm kind of getting into that role, you know, that the role that I was destined to be. So that was just huge. And then that experience was amazing. Just being around, you know, people like me. I mean, the warmth of India, the whole ambiance, everything there was just amazing. I wish I was there right now. But yeah, so, and then fast forward to today, I've done another workshop since that time. And, you know, I'm just learning and growing. So fast forward to right now, this is my first podcast episode, and I just want to, I know I don't have all the answers, but I just want to share everything that I've learned in this past year with all of you, because there was definitely a time in the entire 10 years, I want to even say beginning of 2013, you know, when I was having a lot of career success. I mean, I was at the top of my game. I still am, but you would think that this girl must be so happy, you know, like she has it all, you know, but I wasn't, because I wasn't healthy. And if you had told me at that time, I probably wouldn't have known that I wasn't. Now looking back, I'm like, wow, the fact that I wasn't, you know, fully taking care of myself meant that I didn't even know that I wasn't, you know, okay. So, because otherwise, I mean, I was doing well in my career. I was focusing on everyone else. I was helping my community. I was helping others, and all those things are great. I just have scaled back a little bit and put more focus on helping my family, of course, being there for my family. I've just scaled back and just prioritized myself a little bit more. So I just want to share some lessons learned, because in the midst of all that, I do feel like there were times where I felt, wow, is this ever going to change? Like, am I just going to be this way forever? Am I going to look this way forever? And I'm here to tell you that no, you can definitely turn your life around. It does take patience. It takes consistency. It takes courage. It takes belief in yourself. It takes confidence. So many things that that just don't happen overnight, that take that, you know, showing up day after day. And I feel like the days that I didn't focus on the results, which is so hard to do, but the days that I just showed up, I woke up, did my thing, and then moved on to the next thing, or moved on to the day. Those were the days that and just did that day in and day out, sort of like a robot. Those were the days that were probably the most successful. So anyways, on this podcast, you can expect to see or hear about my journey. I'll share tips and tricks. I'll invite guests on here, guests that have influenced my life, guests that I think both of us can learn from, that have great insights, including my coach, Tamar, from my company, one of my mentors, all sorts of people. So look forward to that. I'll try to post an episode each week with new content. And then I'd love to have, you know, workshops where I share tips and tricks that worked for me, and then my stories that go along with it. The next episode is going to be about the 3 C's for personal growth and professional success. And this really hits home to me because these are the things that worked for me. And they are comfort zone, confidence, and consistency. So tune into the next episode. We'll talk about those 3 things, how they impacted me, how they changed my life, and hopefully how they'll change yours. So I'm looking forward to this podcast with everyone, and just getting a deeper look into my life in hopes that it changes yours. And yeah, if it worked for me, I mean, I'm not special. There's not anything, like I'm not different from anyone. There's nothing that, there was like a time, like I said, that I didn't think that, I thought that, okay, this is just me. Like I'm in my 30s. This is my life now, but I'm here to say that you can completely change your life around. And, yeah, and then once you do, so much changes, I'll talk about that too, because a lot changes, good and bad. All right, well, look forward to talking to you guys, and I will talk to you in the next episode. Bye. Namaste.